Lieutenant Marcus Kane sat alone in the dark cockpit of the starship Resolute, staring at the holographic map projected in front of him. The mission ahead was dangerous, but Marcus had faced worse. This time, however, it was personal, not for himself, but for those who could not fight for themselves. Zoran 7 was a mining planet in the far reaches of the Zoreth cluster. Its surface glowed with red dust, stretching into jagged mountains where robotic enforcers and slave overseers controlled every corner. Rumors had spread throughout the galaxy of the cruel cartel that ran the planet, capturing innocent alien girls from weaker civilizations and selling them to the highest bidder. Marcus' mission was clear: infiltrate the facility, free the girls, and get them to safety. But clear instructions did not make the danger any smaller. The cartel had advanced sensors, patrol drones, and soldiers trained to detect the smallest irregularity. Any wrong step could cost lives, not only his own, but also the girls he was sent to save. The human soldier flexed his fingers, checking his equipment once more. His armor was lightweight but strong, designed to resist blaster fire and environmental hazards. His blaster pistol, plasma knife, and a small array of gadgets were all secured. He exhaled slowly. Focus, he reminded himself, one step at a time. The Resolute descended through the dusty atmosphere of Zoran 7, engines humming low to avoid detection. Below, the mining facility sprawled like a metallic scar across the red landscape. Smoke rose from processing plants, and faint lights blinked in the distance. Marcus could see robotic sentries moving in patterns, scanning for intruders. As he prepared the stealth shuttle, Marcus remembered the briefing he had received just hours before. "The girls are young, between 12 and 16 Zorathian cycles," the commander had said. "They are scared but strong. If you fail, they have nowhere to run." Marcus felt a pang of determination. Fear could not stop him, not when lives hung in the balance. The shuttle's landing was smooth, and Marcus slipped onto the surface like a shadow. The red dust covered his boots as he crouched behind a jagged rock, scanning the area. The facility's walls rose high, topped with electric fencing and watchtowers. Patrol drones moved in strict paths, their glowing sensors sweeping across the ground. Marcus activated a small holographic device, projecting a map of the facility's interior. He could see several levels of holding chambers, processing rooms, and a main command center. The girls were held in the central holding area, guarded heavily by both robots and human cartel enforcers. He moved silently, using the shadows and uneven terrain to his advantage. Every step required patience. One wrong move could trigger an alarm. The sound of a distant drill reminded him of the harsh reality of the girls' imprisonment. They were being forced to work, to mine in dangerous conditions, day and night. Hours passed as Marcus navigated the outer perimeter. He avoided patrols, ducked under laser tripwires, and disabled small security cameras with a precise burst from his gadget. Despite the tension, he could not help but admire the planet's strange beauty. The red dust reflected the dim starlight, creating a surreal landscape of shadows and jagged shapes. Finally, he reached the outer wall of the holding area. Through a small window, he saw them, 6 alien girls huddled together, their eyes wide with fear. Their skin shimmered in soft hues, a natural defense of their species, but even that beauty could not hide their suffering. They were young, trembling, and clearly hungry. Marcus' heart tightened. He knew words alone could not comfort them. Action was the only thing that could bring hope. He activated a small device that disabled the lock on the holding chamber door. It clicked softly, and he motioned for silence. The girls looked up, their wide eyes meeting his. Fear mixed with curiosity. One of the girls, the eldest, whispered something in her native tongue. Marcus knelt slightly, showing that he meant no harm. "I'm here to help," he said, keeping his voice low but steady. "You're safe now. Follow me." For a moment the girls hesitated. Years of captivity made trust difficult, but the human soldier's calm determination and the strange glimmer of hope in his eyes convinced them. Slowly, they rose, following him quietly as he guided them through narrow corridors. The first challenge came immediately. A patrol of robotic enforcers turned a corner, their sensors sweeping for movement. Marcus pressed the girls against the wall, holding his hand up. They froze, breath shallow. The robots passed by, not detecting them thanks to the stealth field from Marcus' armor. A sigh of relief escaped him once they were safe. "Almost there," he whispered. The girls nodded, leaning on each other for support. As they approached the main exit, alarms suddenly blared. A cartel patrol had discovered Marcus' shuttle near the landing zone. Red lights flashed across the walls, and automated voice alerts called for all personnel to investigate. Marcus' heart raced, but he did not panic. He pushed the girls toward a narrow maintenance tunnel. "This way, hurry!" The girls moved quickly, their fear replaced by determination. Marcus noticed something surprising: they were not weak. Despite everything, they followed orders, kept quiet, and even helped him navigate a particularly tricky section of the tunnel filled with maintenance bots. Their resilience impressed him, and he realized why the Alliance had chosen this mission. These girls had potential. As they crawled through the tunnel, Marcus could hear the sounds of pursuit: heavy boots, mechanical whirs, and the distant voice of a commander shouting orders. They had to move fast. At the end of the tunnel, they emerged into an open courtyard. The shuttle was there, but so were more patrol drones scanning the area. Marcus quickly assessed the situation. He could fight, but it would be risky. He needed a distraction. He activated a small device that emitted a pulse of electromagnetic energy. The drones sparked and faltered, their sensors momentarily blind. "Go, now!" he shouted. The girls sprinted toward the shuttle, Marcus covering them. Blaster bolts sizzled through the air, but his armor absorbed most of the energy. He fired carefully, disabling a few enforcers without wasting ammo. The girls reached the shuttle, their small hands gripping the railing as Marcus helped them aboard. He followed, shutting the hatch just as more patrols arrived. The engines roared to life, lifting them off the red surface. Inside the shuttle, the girls were silent at first, catching their breath. Their wide eyes reflected awe and relief. Marcus smiled faintly, giving them a reassuring nod. "You're safe now. The Alliance will take care of the rest." One of the girls, her skin a soft shade of violet, finally spoke in broken basic. "You saved us. Human strong." Marcus chuckled softly, a sound of both relief and pride. "We all have strength," he said. "Sometimes it's just about choosing to use it for the right reason." As the shuttle soared into the darkness of space, leaving Zoran 7 behind, Marcus reflected on the mission. This was only the beginning. The girls were safe, but the cartel would not give up easily. Other worlds were still in danger, and humans had a role to play in showing that courage, compassion, and ingenuity could overcome even the darkest oppression. For now, however, he allowed himself a small moment of satisfaction. He had seen fear, despair, and resilience up close. He had seen hope in the eyes of those who had almost lost it, and he knew that, no matter what came next, humanity could rise to meet any challenge and inspire others to rise as well. The girls looked out the window, watching the red dust fade into the distance. Awe filled their expressions. Marcus knew that one day they would carry the story of this day back to their people, a story of courage, hope, and the strength of humans who fight for what is right. The shuttle hummed quietly through the stars, carrying the rescued girls to safety. But Marcus knew the galaxy was vast, and the mission was far from over. Somewhere out there, injustice still waited, and he would be ready. Because being human was not just about survival. It was about rising above, protecting the innocent, and showing the universe that courage could come from even one determined individual. And so the mission had begun. The stars outside the shuttle stretched into long streaks as Resolute jumped into faster-than-light travel. Inside, the rescued girls huddled together, still trembling from their ordeal. Marcus Kane sat across from them, checking his gear, his mind already running through the next steps. They were not yet safe. Zoran 7 might have been behind them, but the cartel would not let their captives go easily. It was only a matter of time before they discovered the missing girls, and Marcus knew that the universe was full of places where the innocent needed protection. This mission was far from over. "Can you understand me?" Marcus asked gently, turning to the eldest girl whose violet-tinged skin shimmered faintly under the shuttle lights. She nodded slowly, her large eyes wide with awe. "Yes, human brave," she said in broken basic. Marcus smiled faintly. "We're all brave when we try to help others." Her companions looked up, curiosity mixing with lingering fear. Marcus realized this was more than a rescue. This was a chance to show them that trust could exist beyond the cages they had known, that kindness and courage were not just words, they were actions. He spent the next hour talking quietly to the girls, learning their names and a little about their homeworlds. Each had endured hardship far beyond their years, yet their spirits had not completely broken. They shared stories of quiet defiance against their captors, how they had tried to comfort each other during the darkest times. Marcus listened, silently impressed. Despite everything these young beings had survived, the shuttle jolted suddenly. Red warning lights flashed. Marcus' heart skipped a beat. He activated the control panel and saw what he feared. The cartel had launched pursuit drones, likely tracing the shuttle's path from Zoran 7. "Stay down," Marcus ordered. He engaged evasive maneuvers, diving and twisting through the asteroid field that lay ahead. The girls pressed themselves to the floor, holding onto each other as blaster fire streaked past the shuttle's hull. Sparks flew from the outer plating, and Marcus gritted his teeth, focusing on keeping them all alive. The pursuit was relentless. The cartel drones moved with precision, cutting off obvious escape routes. Marcus realized that brute force alone would not win this fight. He had to think to outsmart them. He remembered the stories the girls had shared, small patterns they had observed in the facility, hidden maintenance tunnels, blind spots in the patrol paths. It was a gamble, but Marcus decided to trust them. "Can you help me?" he asked. The girls nodded, courage shining faintly in their frightened expressions. "Good. Watch the paths. Tell me when it is safe to move." They pointed out an asteroid cluster that could hide the shuttle. Marcus adjusted their course, using the natural obstacles as cover. The drones fired, but the shuttle slipped through the rocks like a shadow. The girls gasped, marveling at his skill. "You're amazing," one whispered. Marcus chuckled softly. "I'm just human. Humans have a habit of finding ways to survive and protect others." As the pursuit ended, the shuttle emerged into calmer space. The girls exhaled collectively, relief washing over them. Marcus gave them a moment, letting them feel safe if only briefly. But the mission was far from complete. They had to reach an Alliance-safe zone, a remote station equipped to care for rescued captives and defend them from further threats. Marcus set the coordinates, leaning back in his seat as the shuttle's engines hummed steadily. During the quiet, Marcus spoke to the girls about teamwork and trust. "Out there, the universe can be cruel, but courage and cooperation can overcome almost anything. You've already shown that today. Never forget it." The eldest girl nodded. "We learn from you, human." Her words were simple but filled with admiration. Marcus felt a strange warmth in his chest. This was why he fought, to inspire hope, to show that humans could rise to challenges not for glory but for others. Hours passed in tense silence. Marcus monitored the shuttle systems while the girls rested. He noticed something remarkable, their ability to adapt quickly. Even after captivity, they thought creatively and cautiously. When minor systems failed, the girls suggested solutions Marcus had not considered. Their resilience was extraordinary. Suddenly, a new threat appeared on the sensors. A cartel warship had jumped into the same sector. Its hull gleamed menacingly, weapons trained on the shuttle. Marcus cursed under his breath. They were vastly outnumbered and outgunned. "Girls, stay down," he warned. He activated the shuttle's stealth shield and maneuvered to avoid detection. The warship scanned relentlessly, its sensors almost perfect. Marcus had to rely on cleverness over firepower. He remembered the maintenance routes the girls had mentioned, used for supply shipments across the facility. Perhaps similar routes existed in space, asteroid fields, hidden nebulae, places where sensors were less effective. It was risky, but it might be the only way to survive. Marcus adjusted the shuttle's trajectory, guiding them toward a dense nebula cluster. The warship followed, but its sensors were disrupted by the dense cosmic dust. The girls watched in amazement as Marcus skillfully piloted the shuttle through dangerous terrain, narrowly avoiding collisions. "You are very skilled," one whispered. Marcus smiled. "When lives depend on it, skill comes alive." After a tense hour, they emerged from the nebula. The warship was still tracking, but it had slowed, uncertain. Marcus knew it would not give up. He needed the Alliance station close. He contacted the station through secure channels. "This is Lieutenant Marcus Kane. I have 6 rescued captives from Zoran 7. Request immediate docking and protection." The station responded quickly, activating defensive grids and guiding the shuttle toward a hidden docking bay. Relief washed over Marcus, but he did not relax completely. He had learned that even small lapses could be deadly. The shuttle touched down safely. Alliance personnel rushed forward, helping the girls from the vessel. For the first time, Marcus saw them smile, not forced, not afraid, but genuine relief and awe. The eldest girl approached Marcus. "Human strong, brave, save us." Her words were simple, but the gratitude in her eyes was profound. Marcus nodded quietly. "You were brave too, never forget it." The Alliance commander, a tall humanoid with gray-green skin, approached. "Lieutenant Kane, your actions were exemplary. These girls owe you their lives." Marcus shook his head. "We all do what we must. Humanity has a duty to help those who cannot help themselves." The girls were taken to care facilities for food, rest, and medical attention. Marcus watched from a distance as they began to recover. He realized something vital. Their courage had inspired him as much as his actions had inspired them. Later, in a quiet moment aboard the station, Marcus reviewed the mission. He knew the cartel would regroup, perhaps target other vulnerable worlds. The girls' rescue was a victory, but it was also a reminder of the universe's dangers. Yet he felt hope. He had seen the strength of not just humans, but of those who had endured unimaginable hardship. Together they could face anything. The girls approached him one final time before returning to the safe wing. "We learn from you, human," one said again. Marcus smiled warmly. "Then teach others just like I taught you. Courage, hope, and trust are stronger than fear." As he watched them disappear, Marcus felt a sense of purpose. This was more than a mission. It was proof that humans could rise above cruelty, stand for justice, and inspire others across galaxies. The HFY truth was clear. No matter the odds, humanity could make a difference, even in the darkest corners of space. And somewhere in the distance, beyond the stars, Marcus knew that the cartel's forces were still moving. Their threat was not gone, but he was ready. Because being human meant never giving up, protecting those in need, and showing that courage and compassion were not weaknesses. They were the greatest weapons of all. With renewed determination, Marcus prepared for the next mission. The galaxy was vast, full of suffering, but also full of hope. And humans had a role to play, a role he would continue to fulfill, no matter the cost. For the rescued girls, their lives had changed forever. They would carry the story of human bravery back to their people. And for Marcus, it was a reminder that heroism was not about fame or glory. It was about rising to meet danger, protecting the innocent, and showing that even in a cruel universe, kindness and courage could shine the brightest. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the station windows, and Marcus knew. This was only the beginning. The Alliance station's lights glimmered softly as Lieutenant Marcus Kane walked the quiet corridors. The rescued girls were safe inside the secure wing, resting and recovering from the ordeal on Zoran 7. Yet Marcus knew the mission was far from over. Somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the cartel commander was planning his next move. Failure was not an option. He reviewed the intel once more. The cartel commander, known as Varnock, had a fleet of ships hidden in the nearby asteroid field. Varnock was cunning, ruthless, and unpredictable, but Marcus had something more powerful than brute force: human ingenuity, courage, and determination. "The girls are counting on us," Marcus muttered to himself. "We can't let them down." The Resolute was prepared for the mission. Marcus had upgraded its stealth systems, reinforced its shields, and equipped it with tools for both combat and strategy. He knew that fighting Varnock head-on would be deadly. The best chance was to outsmart him. Before departure, Marcus checked on the girls. They were awake, their large eyes reflecting curiosity and awe. The eldest approached him. "Human, fight again?" she asked softly. Marcus nodded. "Yes, to protect you and others like you, but I need your help." The girls had learned much during their escape. They understood the patterns of enemies, the hidden dangers of space, and even small ways to assist Marcus. Their knowledge of observation and strategy could tip the balance. Marcus smiled faintly. Together, they had a chance. The shuttle departed, slipping into hyperspace toward the asteroid field where Varnock's fleet awaited. As the stars blurred past, Marcus briefed the girls. "We will use their arrogance against them," he explained. "They expect a direct attack. We will strike from where they least expect it." Hours later, the Resolute emerged near the asteroid field. Dozens of cartel ships loomed, weapons primed, scanning for intruders. Marcus guided the shuttle carefully, weaving through massive rocks to avoid detection. The girls watched silently, their faces tense yet focused. One of the girls whispered, "We can see blind spots." Marcus nodded, grateful. "Good, point them out. Every second counts." The battle began without warning. Varnock's fleet opened fire, laser beams slicing through the dark void. Marcus maneuvered the shuttle through the rocks, using the terrain to avoid most of the attacks. Sparks and debris flew past as smaller ships were disabled by Marcus' precise strikes. Despite the chaos, the girls remained calm, giving advice on timing and angles. Their insight allowed Marcus to anticipate enemy maneuvers, turning what could have been a deadly encounter into a controlled, strategic strike. Finally, Marcus spotted Varnock's flagship. The massive ship radiated power and intimidation, its shields flickering with energy. He knew this confrontation would determine the mission's outcome. "Stay close to the rocks," Marcus instructed. "We will use the terrain to approach unnoticed. When I give the signal, we strike." The shuttle slipped through shadows, approaching the flagship's weak point identified through the girls' observations. Marcus activated a small pulse device, temporarily disabling the shields in one section. Blaster shots from the Resolute struck precisely, breaching the hull. Alarms blared aboard Varnock's ship and the cartel commander's voice boomed over the comm system. "Foolish human, you dare attack me," Varnock shouted, fury clear in his tone. Marcus ignored the taunt. "I am not here for myself," he replied steadily. "I am here for the innocent. And I will not fail." The shuttle docked to the flagship's hull and Marcus prepared for boarding. The girls, surprisingly, wanted to help. They had seen what courage could do, and they were ready to face danger alongside him. The interior of the flagship was dark, corridors lined with guards and automated defenses. Marcus moved quickly, signaling the girls to follow. They stuck close, whispering instructions when they noticed traps or patrol patterns. Marcus marveled at their bravery. These young beings who had faced enslavement were now actively shaping their own freedom. In the central command chamber, Varnock awaited, flanked by his elite guards. His armor gleamed menacingly, and his expression was one of pure hatred. "You will pay for what you did," Varnock roared. Marcus did not hesitate. With precise moves, he dodged attacks, using the chamber's structure to his advantage. The girls assisted, triggering small distractions that allowed Marcus to gain the upper hand. Blaster fire and energy pulses filled the room, echoing through the metallic corridors. Varnock lunged at Marcus, but the soldier was ready. With a swift move, Marcus disabled the commander's weapon and cornered him against a reinforced wall. "It ends here, Varnock," Marcus said firmly. "Your cruelty will not continue." Varnock struggled but realized the fight was lost. Marcus restrained him, ensuring he could no longer harm anyone. The remaining guards, witnessing their leader's defeat, surrendered. Marcus turned to the girls. "We did it," he said softly. They looked at him with a mixture of relief, admiration, and wonder. "We free now?" the eldest girl asked. "Yes," Marcus replied. "You are free. No one can take that away." As the flagship systems were secured, Marcus contacted the Alliance station. They prepared transport to evacuate the girls and secure the ship as evidence against the cartel. The girls watched as Varnock and his guards were escorted away, their eyes wide with amazement. For the first time, they felt not just safety but true empowerment. Marcus had shown them that even in the face of immense danger, courage, intelligence, and compassion could triumph. Back aboard the shuttle, the girls expressed their gratitude in simple words. "Human, strong, kind, save us," they said repeatedly, each voice filled with sincerity. Marcus smiled. "We all have strength," he said. "Today you saw it in action, and tomorrow you will carry it with you." The shuttle journeyed toward the Alliance station. Outside the window, stars stretched endlessly. Marcus reflected on the mission: rescue, courage, trust, and the resilience of those who had endured suffering. The galaxy could be cruel, but it could also witness humanity's finest qualities. Upon arrival, the girls were placed in a secure care unit. Alliance personnel ensured their safety, comfort, and medical attention. Marcus observed them quietly, noting how far they had come from the terrified captives of Zoran 7. Their spirits were brighter now, their awe of humanity genuine and lasting. Later, Marcus walked the station's observation deck, looking out at the galaxy. He thought of the countless worlds still in danger, of lives that could be saved by courage and determination. Humanity was not perfect, but it had a strength that transcended fear and cruelty, a force that could inspire hope across species, across galaxies. He remembered the words of the eldest girl, "Human brave, save us." They echoed in his mind. It was not praise he sought, but proof that action could teach lessons words never could. That courage, empathy, and ingenuity were universal languages. In the quiet of the observation deck, Marcus made a promise: to continue fighting for those who could not fight for themselves, to show that humans were not merely survivors but protectors, leaders, and inspirations. He knew the galaxy was vast, and evil would not rest, but neither would he. The girls, safe and recovering, would carry the story of human courage back to their worlds. Their awe was not blind admiration. It was respect for the selflessness and bravery they had witnessed. Marcus had not just rescued them. He had shown them what it meant to rise above fear, to fight for justice, and to never give up even when hope seemed impossible. As the shuttle prepared for the next mission, Marcus felt the familiar hum of purpose within him. The galaxy awaited, full of challenges and opportunities for heroism, and humanity, he realized, would always rise to meet them. The stars stretched endlessly, each one a reminder of both danger and hope. Marcus knew that wherever injustice existed, humans could, and would, make a difference. Courage, compassion, and ingenuity were his weapons, and they were more powerful than any fleet or weapon in the universe. The rescued girls looked out the shuttle's windows, silent but filled with awe. They had seen the best of humanity, and it had changed them forever. Marcus sat quietly, watching over them, knowing that one day their story would inspire others just as much as he had inspired them. And so the mission ended, not with glory or recognition, but with freedom, hope, and the quiet proof that humanity, when it chooses to rise, can shine brighter than any star in the galaxy.